What's up, Marvel fans? I think we live. Fix my microphone here. All right, so today, Marvel fans, it's your boy Armand here for E equals MCU. Today, we just got a kind of a news rundown because it wasn't even one thing specifically. After yesterday's news of Sony CEO coming out saying what he said, there's been a lot of follow up to that, a lot more in depth stuff, which kind of reaffirms my theory of what I said yesterday, as far as like what they're gonna do with the Spider-Man brand, Spider-Man universe, and how I think it is coming to the MCU officially in a more fuller capacity. So today, I just wanted to go over. There's a couple of news bits, a couple of things. One thing on the Daredevil Born Again season 2 with Jessica Jones. Um, I'll start off with that. So there's reports that the showrunner for Jessica Jones feels like there's more story to tell. We already knew this. He wanted to bring her back, and he is going to be. It hasn't been confirmed, and I have to double check on this. But as far as them, Marvel Studios is working on the Jessica Jones new season. I don't know if it'll be a continuation from the last one or if it'll be a new name because of the contracts, but it looks like, she's going to appear in Daredevil Born Again season 2 and then immediately go off into her own adventure. Now, the tidbit about her own season coming to Disney Plus is that they're hinting that she's married now. The showrunner said that, it's been 7 years, they've matured, she's not the same, booze drinking. She's not in the same place, basically, she's not in that stage anymore in her life. So when we see her in Daredevil Born Again season 2, there may be hints to the fact that she is married. Now, I think this is a big leak, I guess you could say, or something to say. I think this is news because if she is married, it's more than likely to Luke Cage, and that's how they're going to bring Luke Cage in. Now, how they explain him and Claire not being together, they could just simply, that might just be a throwaway line. The fact that rumor that Claire is supposed to appear in Spider-Man Brand New Day as, I guess, night nurse, basically, and the fact that Bernthal is going to bring Spider-Man to her, we may get a little bit more there. He might ask where Luke is. I don't even know. See, the thing about it is Punisher was not a part of the Defenders, so I don't really know if he knows all of them like that. Like, I know they all know each other, but I don't know if they know him and he knows them. So there may be a line to that. I mean, like, anytime you pick up in a story in the 7 years, you can kind of create what you want within those spaces and then just say he knows them or XYZ. So I suspect that she probably doesn't have a kid yet, but they want to do the whole her and Luke Cage having a family. That's been something that's been hinted at for a long, long time. So I suspect that may be how we get Luke Cage into Daredevil Born Again season 2 as a cameo, maybe. If she gets really involved in what's going on, then he's going to get involved. If he gets involved, then Danny Rand's probably, not too far behind. So, so that's that part of the news that has been confirmed. I can't. I think the showrunner's name is. I don't want to mess up his name. Scooter Bauer or something like that. But if I think he's got to be the showrunner for Daredevil. So I don't know if that means they're doing season 2 or if they're doing Jessica Jones or what. I'm not 100% sure on that. I'll have to do some research on that and then come back to kind of clarify who exactly is saying this, because it just said the showrunner. So I'm assuming they're saying the Daredevil Born Again showrunner, which doesn't mean that he's necessarily going to be doing the Jessica Jones show either. So now, the other piece of news for today is the Avengers. Well, no. Okay, let's get back to before we get into the Avengers one, because I think that's kind of obvious. There is a rumor that Vision Quest is going to feature and set up, which I think I've said this before, the West Coast Avengers and the Champions. And it just makes sense because the fact that they've confirmed that Tommy story is going to be in Vision Quest somehow. Like at first, when we heard of the Vision Quest thing, we always thought it was just going to be Vision Quest. But then after Agatha specifically, it was kind of like, okay, we need to kind of finish the story up on Tommy and Billy, and where does that go? So the fact that they're hinting at cameos for the Vision Quest series, I suspect those cameos will be Kate Bishop and Iman Vellani as Ms. Marvel, and even potentially Stature. I can't think of the name of the actress that plays Stature, but I could see something where the three of them maybe pop up, maybe even Ironheart maybe pops up in Vision Quest, and somehow they have a connection with Tommy and Billy, because if they are going to be or are going to pop up in Secret Wars, you don't want that to just kind of come out of nowhere. Like, why are the 6 or 7 of them together or whatever? You know what I'm saying? Like, you're gonna want some kind of way for them to have been together, and then like a year, you know what I mean? Like a year or two has passed and they're doing their thing. So, um, that is the rumor. It does not surprise me. The West Coast Avengers, I suspect that this Vision Quest show will take place on the West Coast. So, it doesn't surprise me that, yeah, we'll be getting She-Hulk and Wonder Man probably in the West Coast Avengers, as well as probably if you're going to introduce Stature, to me, it would make sense to have maybe a hint towards Ant-Man and the Wasp. I'm not exactly sure which direction they're going with that yet, but they would probably be in the West Coast Avengers. So that'd be cool to get the setup at least for that, and then maybe get a Disney Plus show. And I've said many a times what I would like to see the roster be, and what I would want them to do with that as far as with the West Coast Avengers. But Vision Quest is quietly on the radar. Like a lot of not enough people, I think, are excited enough about what Vision Quest is about to do. So this is, yeah, they scaled back on the movies, and we got 2 movies, but the 2 movies are like going to be the 2 biggest movies of the year, and then every single Disney Plus show they got coming down the pike is like, I'm looking forward to it. I don't think there's ever been. I mean, granted, I look forward to all of the Marvel content. I don't see any in their lineup. I don't see any room for haters to kind of get in there and do their thing. You know what I mean? Like, it's a foolproof schedule. I think Vision Quest is probably the one that people are kind of sleeping on out of everything, but it sounds like, man, they might do something special with Vision Quest going into Doomsday. So keep the eyes peeled for that. The other piece of the news is just simply, they've screened Avengers Doomsday to the executives, and they're thrilled with it. They love it. To me, this is not big news because it's like it's their movie. It's not like they showed it to strangers or fans or somebody who's not within the company. Like, you'd have to be a real asshole to just be like, I don't like this. Nope, we don't want to do this. Nope. Or you know what I mean? Like, even if you're playing it for family or somebody, like, somebody within the organization that's related, they're not going to be like, that Avengers movie you had me see was really garbage. Yeah, I need to go back to the drawing board. Like, that's just not going to happen, especially this late in the game. So I'm not really, the news of them being thrilled with it doesn't really get me any more excited than I already am for the film. Other than, the part of it is just that the Russo brothers are doing it, and you already know it's in good hands because the Russo brothers are doing it. So it's like they haven't failed at any of the movies they've done yet with Marvel. So, I have no quarrels about if it's going to be a good movie or not. Like, I'm fairly sure it's going to be decent. So, um, that part of the news, and there was no detail in any of the articles about them being thrilled with it. It wasn't like, oh, seeing Doctor Doom pull out Thanos' spine really got me. Nope, none of that. Nope. So there was no spoilers in it. So that's it, man. That's the news for today. Not too many details or anything. I am still out following up and wanting to do a little more research on the Tom Rothman news from yesterday, because like I said, it was so layered, and when you look into it, it really does kind of lead you into what the future is going to be, and that gets me excited. Because like hearing that they were going to reboot, okay, but then when you put that together with the fact that they're sharing more characters, and that kind of lets me know exactly what that means really, without being able to make an announcement, which they can't do until probably next year is when they'll probably announce what they're doing with their characters. So it's all good for me, man. Like I'm loving the way this is going. I'm excited about that. Still not understanding the Jean Grey, the Sadie Sink Jean Grey thing, but hey, whatever. You know what I mean? Like, we'll see. We'll see. Because, I mean, she'll be a good Jean Grey, but the reports of the movie time, how many pictures she's doing, none of that makes sense to me. But she'd be a great choice, for Jean Grey if she's Jean Grey. She would also make a great Firestar. I could also see her, playing Gwen Stacy. So I'm not convinced yet. But I guess we'll see. If the trailer comes out and they reveal who she is, they probably won't show it. We probably won't know until the movie come out. They'll probably be like disguised. But I don't know, guys. That's the news for today, man. I'm just rambling here at this point. That's the news for today. Till tomorrow. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Peace.